Picture that heartbreaking homeless encampment. Maybe it's the man knotted out in the alleyway. Or maybe it's a loved one that has fallen into the cycle of addiction, maybe homelessness or incarceration. As we witness them fall time and time again, do you ever think to yourself, are we missing something? Could we do better? Many cities across the United States have ranked drug addiction and homelessness as the number one and number two most significant problems they face. Despite the fact that we are allocating more and more resources, rates continue to rise. We are missing something, and that's the good news. I believe with clarity of what's missing and a game plan, we can change every statistic around addiction, homelessness, and incarceration. Early in my career, a young man walked into the active sober community I had recently founded. He'd just been released from prison, still wearing the standard issue khaki on khaki colored uniform. As we spoke, it became increasingly clear that he was lost, that he was alone, and that he was afraid. I was concerned, so I asked him, "What is your game plan?" He didn't have an answer. Instantly, my heart could feel the dark and heavy road he was about to walk down. It would be just a matter of time until he was high. And if he didn't die, he would surely end up back in prison. That day sparked a decade-long conversation for me, and I've been asking the same question to thousands of men. What is your recovery game plan? Sometimes I would rephrase it as, what conscious actions are you taking to create a life worth not losing? The most common answer, I'm going to meetings every day. Now, don't get me wrong. I love a good recovery meeting. But do you really think you're going to pull yourself up from the very bottom by just going to meetings? The second most common, man, I got to work and stay busy. Rarely has this been effective. The last 10 years have taught me that we are not having a critical and crucial conversation. And all the proof we need is in the continued relapse and recidivism rates. 3, 4, 5 trips for an individual to prison is common. 6, 7, 8 trips to inpatient treatment, common. Judges, counselors, clinicians, they'll all tell you they're seeing the same faces over and over again. Here's the difficult truth. Men in early recovery are rarely fully equipped with the skill sets necessary for a life of sobriety, for a life to thrive, for a life of purpose. Now, I know this statement can rub some people wrong, but trust me, I know this demographic. Some are incredibly talented. Others are extremely hard workers. Some are ridiculously smart. And here is a key piece to the puzzle. These positive attributes are their survival mechanism. I like to call it their strong pillar. It is pronounced, it is robust, and it's probably the only reason they're still alive. Now, there's 3 pillars that create strong, thriving, recovered men. You've heard them all before. It's the physical pillar, the mental pillar, and the spiritual pillar. The reason why these men are getting caught in these destructive cycles is they're trying to recover and live with just one strong pillar. I've met men with deep, unwavering faith in either the physical world would pull them back into their addiction, or their inability to move forward intellectually would be their downfall. I've met men with college degree on top of college degree. However, they would end up relapsing because they were spiritually bankrupt. I met incredibly hard workers, often lacking the understanding of what they're striving for, ultimately losing hope for a better life. Rarely have I seen a man with a strong physical pillar, a strong mental pillar, and a great spiritual pillar fall. Matter of fact, I never have. And here's the kicker. When all 3 pillars are developed, you are exponentially stronger. You have a base or a personal platform to support you through life's ups and downs. Anyone who knew me growing up would describe me as an extremely hard worker. I would spend all day outworking grown men, followed by hours of sports training at night. I knew how to toil with the physical world. At the same time, I was 3 or 4 grades behind mentally. I was spiritually lost from sexual and physical abuse. Consequently, I fell into a life of addiction. Fast forward to my adult life. I'd get a physically demanding, dangerous job. This was my identity. The drugs and the alcohol would get out of control and I'd fall flat on my face, too many times to count. My physical tenacity, my survival mechanism, would always find a way to pick me back up. A matter of fact, almost every predicament I ever got myself into was solved with a few months' hard work. This cycle led to 18-year-long addiction, multiple treatment centers, jails, and detoxes. My last run landed me in the hospital, where they had to bring me back from near-fatal alcohol poisoning. Lying there, I was riddled with anxiety. I had no clue how not to use, and I had no clue how to live. Now, whether it was by the grace of God or the love I'd been shown as a child, I somehow formulated a game plan. I walked out of the hospital. I wasn't running off to another city like I had done so many times before. I wasn't trying to get my old job back. I spent my last dollar on a sober house. I found a yoga studio. I started a hiking group, and I fell in love with podcasts and audiobooks. 1 year later, I founded my first nonprofit. Today, I'm the co-founder and CEO of a men's transformational platform. We offer sober transitional housing. We operate a construction company uniquely designed to hire men in early recovery, bridging the gap in employment or building careers. We facilitate an active, sober community by participating together in life-affirming activities such as mixed martial arts, yoga, boxing, jiu-jitsu, hiking, biking, paddleboarding, and much more. We offer unique recovery classes designed to promote growth mindset, quality nutrition, optimal skills for an optimal recovery. My job is to build an organization that allows men to bolster their recovery with what they're strong at while diligently and bravely working on where they are weaker. Here's one of our success stories. Trevor spent 14 years incarcerated. He's overdosed 13 times. He's accumulated decades of homelessness, drug addiction, crime, and pain. Trevor called me from inpatient treatment. He said, I have nowhere to go, and if I go back to the streets, I will surely die or end up back in prison. 1 week later, we were able to bring him into our program. We gave him a bedroom. We gave him a job. We pushed him into working out and doing yoga. He attended our classes. We surrounded him with recovered men with similar lived experiences. Trevor will tell you, we showed him a pathway forward, and we are an example of something he could emulate. I like to say, we simply helped him find his own unique recovery game plan. Today, Trevor works in every department of our organization. He has keys to every door. He drives our full-size work trucks, and he mentors our newcomers. A few months ago, I called Trevor into my office, and I said, Trevor, what does your future look like? His reply was simple. I'm taking over your job, boss. And that's what we do. We give him more and more responsibility. We have the tough conversations. We coach and encourage him. And as a result, he's created a life worth losing. A matter of fact, Trevor, stand up. Give this man a round of applause. He's done the work. I grow right alongside these men. They often magnify where I'm the weakest. They support me and inspire me to get better every day. I would like to end today's talk with a challenge. I challenge us to create more organizations or support organizations that allow men to do the deep work while giving them the much needed personal agency. Let's be bold with our conversations. We can do better. We are the Reclaim Project. We build capable men.